So I stealth stripped my Beast tree stand, and I just want to tell you real quick how I did it. It's not super difficult. Honestly, I was a little worried myself, like, how do I do this? But I did it, and it wasn't really that difficult. It took me probably half hour, 45 minutes. I think certainly if you're, focused, you can do it in a half hour, definitely in 45 minutes. But anyway, so the stealth strips that I use were from Lou at Stealth Strip Outdoors, or Stealth Outdoors, and there's a link provided below that you can check out his stuff. The set that I had was a kit specific for the Beast stand, and so that's what I purchased, because obviously that's what I have for the Beast stand. So I just want to go over real quick how I did it, some tips and pointers based on what I just learned doing it myself. And again, it's not super hard, but there are some things that that I would do differently, or that I did, I think, that are helpful. So the first thing that I did was the cables. So there's two ways to do that. Basically, in how I did it, which I don't know that I'd do it differently again, maybe, but I just took the whole strip from the top of the cable, even including the little metal bracket here, all the way down to the end of the metal bracket here. I put it on, and then what I didn't do and should have done, but I did on the second one actually, and it worked much better. I just kind of centered it on the cable the best I could, then wrap one side. So just wrap one side and then come back and wrap the other side around. On the first one I kind of started to wrap it, and it ended up, some of it ended up pinching together. Doesn't really matter. It's more of a visual thing than anything. But the other way to do it is cut your strip so that it's just on the black part of the cable, and then after you put that on, take and just wrap your metal pieces top to bottom, and you're done. Probably aesthetically looks a little better, but I don't think it really matters as far as functionality, and I think it's fine. The next thing I did was I did my post. And so basically what I did here, my post, was I took off my standoff, I took off the two Versa buttons that are here, and I left obviously this on, didn't want to take this off, but I left this on, took everything else off, left the seat on, and only went up to the seat. And so then I wrapped one side here, I cut around, you see where you can adjust the angle of your stand, I cut around that with this one piece, I wrapped it, and then I took this other piece here, put that on, did the same thing, cut around the adjustments for the angle, and then I wrapped that around here as well. Once that was done, then I came back to the front of these. So actually I did my seat first, took off this part. Actually I had to take off my back straps as well, but I took off this part, the pad, and then I wrapped the front, and just wrap the front about 3/4 of the way back on both sides. There's actual pieces that come for these. This one I didn't have to cut. A couple of these I did, which I'll tell you in a second. But I just wrapped it. Now, the same thing that I did here, I did down here, so I'll explain to you down here what I did. Once I got that on, I came down to the front of this, and from basically the end of this cable where the bolt is, all the way around to this other one, I did that. I think I had to cut about 1.5 inches off maybe, so it was the right length. Then, once I did that, I peeled it off, I spanned it evenly all the way around the best I could, and put it on that way. Then I didn't fold it over yet. What I did was I snipped with scissors, I snipped at every brace, I snipped a line. I did this on the top and the bottom, a line on every single spot. Then once I was done with that, I wrapped my bottom up in all the slots. I wrapped the bottom all the way up and tightened that, and then I came back and I overlapped the top onto the bottom section, and I did that all the way around it. Now, once you got done with that, you have one here and you have one here. I did the exact same thing, and it came out pretty nice. One of the things you'll notice here is there's a pin, or a piece of metal here, so when your bolt comes down, it hits that. I just went right up over top of it. It'll probably wear off over time, but when I close this, the stand hits that. Now it's not clanging, not making noise. So anyway, that's what I did there, and that seemed to work pretty well. Once I was done with everything, I took my two Versa buttons and I put them back in. Now I had to punch through the hole, and what I also did on the back side is I cut out this hole here as well, and this hole here as well. Maybe let me turn on some light. I cut out the holes that it goes through. Now here's where you want to be pretty careful, because now most of the rest of the holes are covered and they're sticky on the back side, at least at the moment. And so I took a 7/16, two of them actually, two 7/16 socket wrenches, and once I pushed this through, I got it loose with two 7/16 socket wrenches. Once I pushed this side through, I took the nut and I very carefully just put it right on the end. I slipped it through here gently. You don't want to tilt it like that, because if it falls inside, then you're going to be in trouble, and it's going to be a pain in the butt to get it out. You'll get it out eventually, but it's going to be a pain to do it. So I just carefully slid it inside straight until I got it to I felt it hit the back post. Then I just screwed the bolt in until I felt it kind of catch the lock nut. Once I did that, then I grabbed my other ratchet strap and I tightened it that way. So I did that with both Versa buttons, and then this guy I just punched it through, and you don't need another, because of the way they made it, notched out the standoff. You don't need a ratchet for that. Once I got this through, I just ratcheted it that way. So that's basically how I did it, and again, I'm pretty pleased with the overall product. There's probably people that could do it a little better than me, especially if they've done a bunch of them, but for my first one, I think I did a pretty good job, and I like it. Now I just need to use it. But it's not hunting season right now, so it's kind of nice to be able to tinker around with your hunting stuff. And I would encourage you to go check Lou from Strip Outdoors and or Stealth Outdoors. I actually even did my camera arm. I stealth stripped that, and that turned out real nice. And I actually cut out all the holes, so I still have all the holes here. But it was shiny aluminum, and so I didn't want that shining, so I put stealth strips on there, and worked great. So anyway, thanks for watching, and check out Beast Gear. Get yourself a tree stand, and actually if you buy stealth strips right now in the month of July, you're automatically entered to win some Beast sticks, climbing sticks, which is in part why I did this. So it was something I was debating of doing this anyways, but then when I saw that Lou was going to give away some Beast sticks based on if you purchased some stealth strips from him in July, I thought, well, that's enough to get me to pull the trigger, so that's what I did. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. You know, clanging cymbal, the clanging. I'm trying to talk 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter, about the clanging cymbal. It doesn't make a clanging sound.